Want to have your clip featured in the Skyrim Clip of the Week? Simply record the clip on your Xbox and then send it to me via message. My gamertag is iRyanI, that's IRYENI, and then you can message it to me over Xbox and I'll be able to view it. I look forward to seeing the clips that you guys send me. Now moving on to the video. Hey, what's up guys, it's Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of Modded Monday. We're on week number 189 now, guys. I've picked out 5 new mods for you guys to check out, and perhaps add them to your load order if you find them interesting. But like always, before we jump into them, I want to remind you guys that I'm partnered with GamerSupps, which in my opinion is the best energy drink on the market. Now, I myself used to drink unhealthy gas station energy drinks, but switched whenever I heard about GamerSupps being the healthier choice and alternative. Since then, I've been drinking it regularly, so I reached out and got in contact with them so that we could show you guys the drink and you can try it free if you'd like. If you use my link and the code found in the description, which is RTD, you can get a 10% discount on all their drinks. And if you do end up trying it, definitely let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Now we can jump into this week's mods, and starting us off we have the Enemy Overhaul Hagravens mod. Now the mod page reads that the Hagravens are vile yet mysterious creatures that usually ally themselves with the Forsworn or witches. Their abilities make them powerful boss tier foes for the unprepared, however I've always felt that Hagravens could be much more. Now with this mod installed, Hagravens receive a new coat of paint as well as some new ability adjustments. They now come in 3 different varieties. There's the Shamans, the Necromages, and the Devotees, and the Glenmoral Witches retain their original color scheme while boosting new effects and abilities. Each new variant has their own unique weaknesses and resistances, spells and perks, and the details are as follows. For the Hagraven Shaman, they produce a shield when combat begins that reduces physical damage, and this shield remains so long as the Shaman's magicka remains above 25%. This variant also boasts 50% magic resistance and a 10% chance to paralyze opponents with its claws if the foe has less than 50% magic resist. They also use fire-based destruction and conjuration spells, and standard restoration spells as well. For the Hagraven Necromages, they're similar to the Shaman, only the Necromage's shield provides a 50% absorb spell chance rather than damage resistance. Their claws deal moderate fire damage and boast the immunity to poison, disease, and frost, so these will be some very powerful foes. Last but not least, we have the Hagraven Devotee, which is a hag that worships Daedra and can reflect 50% physical damage back on its attacker and summon its own Dremora ally in battle. They prefer to use shock magic and are immune to fire. Now in the vanilla game of Skyrim, I would always start out my playthrough around Whiterun, and I would pretty much do the Nettlebane quest and go to Orphan Rock and kill the Hagraven there, but I may not be able to do that nowadays so early because of how difficult these boss battle type fights are going to be, and with these new upgraded Hagravens and the new types of Hagravens that you can run into, you now need to be more prepared for these fights instead of just charging right on in. Now the Hagravens in the vanilla game were already intimidating creatures, but this just blows it out of the water with the new enemy overhaul for the Hagravens. That is just a perfect mod worth downloading if you like a challenge in your Skyrim game, and that's definitely why it's featured here at our number 5 spot, so I'd strongly recommend downloading the enemy overhaul Hagravens mod. Coming in at our number 4 spot, we have the Legion Signifiers mod. Now because last week I covered something along the lines of Stormcloaks and remastering the Stormcloaks and making them a more powerful force, I figured I'd take a step over to the Legion mods and see what else is new for them. You know, we have a bunch of Legion armor mods that we already have in our load orders, but what more can we add to the Legion to just make them all around better? And that was the Legion Signifiers mod. The mod page reads that the Imperial Legion in Skyrim is marching across Skyrim to fight and put down the rebel Stormcloaks. However, where are their standards? The Imperial Legions are based on the Roman legions of our world, so wouldn't there be a Signifier? A rugged soldier carrying the standard military emblem of the Legion into battle? A symbol of power and discipline? After painstakingly putting this off for a while to work on other projects, the mod author has finally put this mod together, and they've placed 2 Signifiers at each Imperial camp across Skyrim, each with a different signum. The mod author also plans in the future to add other Signifiers into some of the siege and fort battles throughout the game, and it includes very little script, so it's very compatible with any other mod you may have. Now I realize that just adding people that are holding flags to each camp in the game isn't anything that's super groundbreaking, but if you're making a decision between the Stormcloaks and the Imperial Legion, if you've already made that decision before you started your character, it's best to put more mods towards the character you're going to choose. So if you are going to side with the Legion, you're going to want to put as many mods for the Legion into your load order as possible, and if you combine this Signifier mod with other mods such as the Imperial Legion armor overhauls and other Imperial improvements, you can pretty much make for the most badass looking Legion force in the entirety of Skyrim. Like I said in the last episode, we've been playing Skyrim for so long that these new mods that they add to the game, we really like to pay attention to the small details, and whenever you walk into an Imperial camp and see someone holding a flag, I feel as though it's going to really immerse you into that camp and make you feel like you're actually joining a force. And with that being said, I really love the Legion Signifiers mod, and if you combine it with other Imperial Legion mods that completely overhaul everything around them, then it'll just fit in there perfectly, and that's definitely why this mod comes in at our number 4 spot, so I'd strongly recommend downloading the Legion Signifiers mod. Coming in at our number 3 spot, we have a new weapon mod called Dragon Katanas. Now this mod adds 3 new katanas that can be crafted at the Forge, and there's the Dragon Fang Katana, the Dragon Heart Katana, and the Dragon Soul Katana. It's also craftable under the Iron category and requires 5 iron ingots and 3 leather strips to craft these katanas. Now these 3 new weapons that have been added by this mod have high quality textures and they look very well alongside the other weapons in Skyrim and don't really stick out too much. I always hate whenever weapon mods go above and beyond and they completely don't even look like any of the other weapons in the game, but this mod actually stays true to the original style of the katanas and just the original swords in Skyrim, while also looking very awesome and unique as well. The only complaints that I may have about this mod would be the high file size, as well as them being craftable under the Iron category. I kinda wish you'd have to work up to get these Dragon Katanas and actually craft them in the Dragon category, but other than that, they're very nice katanas, and dual wielding them is just absolutely devastating. I always like to see new weapon and armor mods added into Skyrim, and seeing these new Dragon Katanas added is just something that I felt has been needed in the game, because we don't actually have any types of katanas in Skyrim. So if you're thinking about starting a new Dragonborn Samurai, then the Dragon Katanas is definitely a mod I'd recommend checking out, and that's definitely why it's featured here at our number 3 spot, so I'd recommend downloading it and giving it a try for yourself. Coming in at our number 2 spot, we have JK Solitude interiors. Now, if you remember last week, we covered JK's Whiterun interiors, and they were phenomenal interiors on the inside of Whiterun. You know, all of the shops, the inns, and just the, regular castle area as well. That's been ported over to Solitude now too, and all of the Solitude interiors have been improved. This includes the Winking Skeever Inn, Angeline's Aromatics, which is the alchemy shop, Bits and Pieces, Radiant Raiment, and the Blue Palace as well. So just like we did last week, I'm going to give you guys a brief tour of everything this mod has to offer, so let's begin. Now, as you can see, just like last week, we said just how detailed and amazing these interiors are now. And with Solitude being the richest city in the game, I feel like it makes more sense to go in depth for the interiors here, because they are the wealthiest city, and if you have other mods such as the Great City of Solitude, you know that the exterior is just a huge port that is just completely overhauled. And if we move on to the inside, now you can have the interiors of all of Solitude. So if you're looking to spruce up the shops in the Blue Palace in Solitude, then the JK Solitude interiors is definitely a mod I'd recommend recommend checking out, and that's definitely why it's featured here at our number 2 spot, so I'd recommend downloading it. Coming in at our number 1 spot, we have an add-on for a mod that I covered in a previous top 5 mod episode, and that's the Dirt and Blood HD Retexture mod. Now, if you guys don't know what the original Dirt and Blood mod is, it allows the player to get dirty and bloody, which means that there's 4 stages of dirt and 4 equivalent stages of dirt and blood that your character will become dirtier about every 2 days. And it gets faster if you get into combat often, and getting hurt in combat has a small chance to make you advance a stage. All of these are mostly visual and don't affect gameplay, so what that basically means, if you've been exploring for a while and you haven't went back to the towns to clean up yourself, you become dirtier over time, and you'll be able to actually see it on your character, and they'll have dirt spots on them. Or if you just got out of an intense fight and you took a lot of hits, then your character will show blood on them, which I think is a very cool and immersive way of displaying new dirt and blood textures. That mod completely changed the way that we looked at effects throughout the game of Skyrim, and with the Dirt and Blood HD Retexture, it just goes farther into that. The brief description is they're high-resolution textures for Dirt and Blood overlays from the Dirt and Blood Dynamic Visual Effects mod, for those who really like getting dirty. And the blood overlays were made to complement the Enhanced Blood Textures mod. So there's really just a giant combination of different mods into one mod here. Now, I feel as though this creates a truly covered in dirt and blood look to match the status effect descriptions from the mod, as well as make dirt and blood overlays more distinct from each other. It also increases the resolution and gets rid of the pixelated look for overlay textures. It also makes the soap bubble particle look less cartoony whenever you're taking a bath, and it's very compatible with any other overhauls such as blood texture mods and just regular effects mods, that it'll fit in your load order seamlessly and cause no issues. So if you did happen to download the Dirt and Blood mod a couple weeks ago whenever I covered it on this series, and you want to maybe enhance it and get some new high quality textures along with the mod, then the Dirt and Blood HD Retexture add-on is definitely a mod I'd recommend checking out in that case. And that's why it's featured here at our number 1 spot, so I'd strongly recommend downloading the Dirt and Blood HD Retexture mod. So that's pretty much it for this week's episode of the top 5 Skyrim mods of the week. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, I'd appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe if you're new. It really helps me out a lot. And if you have any suggestions for mods you'd like me to cover in future top 5 mod episodes, be sure to let me know in the comment section below, or you can follow me on Twitter. I'll be sure to leave my Twitter in the description, and you guys can follow me on there and leave me suggestions there as well. Special shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys have done for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I will talk to you guys later.